Indiana Jones, It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. The Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the show where we discuss the film Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny 3 big fat minutes at a time. My name is Tom Taylor.
I'm Pete. How did I end up like this mummert?
This mummert?
I'm Gerald Christopher. What the hell? Porter.
And I'm Scott, beautiful, resourceful,
self-sufficient,
independent Rosann.
Beautiful.
You really are.
Resourceful.
Has anyone ever told you that?
Oh, thank you. Goodness gracious.
Scott, you're our old pal through many movies. You've been our buddy since hanging out on Sala's deck, his rooftop deck back in Raiders. You taught us what an imam was and that's what Sala was actually saying. And yeah, that was you.
I did?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's unbelievable.
The editor and you recognized the lip flap going on with Sala, and then he had said something different.
Right.
Yeah. So you're show royalty as far as we're concerned.
Yes.
Thank you. Goodness gracious. Thank you. It's so much fun to see you guys, or hear you guys.
Either way, both. Well, let's talk about minutes 64 through 66. And these minutes begin with our heroes in the middle of a chase scene and Helena questioning if Dr. Schmidt really is a professor. Teddy yells at Indy to turn left, which Indy does the opposite of with 3 motorcycles hot on their tail. One of these guys leaps onto the top of the tuk-tuk with a knife and starts to carve the roof as Raheem's car appears ahead of them. Indy makes a sharp turn. Helena punches the knife guy off the tuk-tuk, and Indy again ignores Teddy's advice, sending them down a long, bouncy stairway that looks about as fun as the stupid Gemini roller coaster at Cedar Point. At the bottom of the stairs, they are passed by Fuller's car, and Helena and Teddy ditch Indy to go after Fuller in their own tuk-tuk. Indy gets his tuk-tuk unstuck, and rejoins the chase. For those keeping score at home, Fuller is making for the airport, followed by Helena and Teddy in one tuk-tuk and Indy in another, who are in turn followed by Raheem and his men in an indeterminate number of vehicles. During all this, Indy and Helena drive side by side long enough to have a chat about how much Indy thinks she sucks, but this chat is interrupted by Raheem's car ramming Helena's tuk-tuk, and this and other vehicular mayhem lands Indy back in Helena's tuk-tuk. This summary has gone on a long time, but a guy gets hit in the face with branches, Helena loses and refines Fuller's car, and the minute ends with Helena speeding up next to him.
Can I just throw in there? You said something that really bothered me, Tom.
Oh, what?
That is very, very much not Helena's very own tuk-tuk.
Oh, that's very true. Well, the way these movies work,
clearly
we've already had arguments
that,
about who stole what and who
that
owns
medieval
it, so.
friar, like the medieval Franciscan monk.
Yeah, well.
Tuk-tuk. Say tuk-tuk again, Tom, please.
Tuk-tuk. I did say it a bunch,
Don't say tuk-tuk. Say tuk-tuk.
Tuk-tuk. Tuk-tuk goose.
Knock you right on your tuk-tuk.
So this is interesting because Helena starts the minute she says, I'm not sure Professor Schmidt's an actual professor, by the way. And Indy, in what is perhaps distressingly topical, says he's a Nazi. And I'm not sure what what these two thoughts have to do with each other. Like, why does his being a Nazi not make him a professor? What does Indy say?
Yeah, and he already said that in front of her. The way having him say it again now sounds a little bit like no one's listening to me. The bad guy's a Nazi. I'm Indiana Jones, and there's Nazis in my movies. Why won't anyone listen?
How much? Actually, that makes me think because we just had a long conversation on Patreon recently about how we're sort of the old generation, and the world has passed us by a little bit, and it's harder and harder to relate to younger people. How much of this scene in this movie is the world has passed Indy by and they're now living Indy's former life and he's just sort of not able to make peace with that or understand it?
Yeah. Like he doesn't, her being the way she is now, which is exactly the way Indy was when he was her age, looks to him like, bell-bottom jeans to some parent in 1979 or something. And what are you kids doing?
Right.
Yeah, but
in our day, we had Daniel Boone hats and stuff, and it was super cool.
Yeah.
You're doing it all wrong. It does seem like a generational weird, he should be like, you're a little chip off the old Godfather.
And every Teddy keeps telling him go left and he'll go right, and Teddy will go right and he'll go left, and I can't figure out if he's literally just doing it to spite Teddy because Teddy's young and he's trying to say, since he's the old guy and he already said he knew his way around, he's trying to show I'm not going to do whatever this kid tells me to do.
Well, he did kick Teddy out of the drivers. So it's like even if it's like, oh, life has passed me by or passed him by or whatever it is, it's like he still is very much like, move over, kid, I'm driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if I don't know where I'm going. Although he does,
and
it was weird. Last time we were saying,
topical.
it's nice that he does know where he's going, because it sounded like they were about to set up kind of, Indy's going the wrong way. And they kind of do that in this, but not without like the sad whistle or anything, without the sad trombone. Like, he does seem to go the wrong way and they go down the stairs and crash, but it's not like told you so, or there's no like Tweety birds floating around their heads or anything.
I was gonna say, it's a recurring bit with no real punch to it.
Right.
Is that like it seems it's good that it's not, that they're not riding it too hard.
I agree. I like that it's
not
punchless.
a giant wah-wah about it, but just the same, it doesn't seem to have any real point.
You do want a little of, like I was saying last time, there was the sight gag about like Indy saying, okay, everybody lower your guns, let's take it easy, and you get that they are lowering their guns, but because Raheem is showing up. And there was zero even, like, I don't want a bop. I just want, like, if she could give him like a side look or something, or she and Teddy in the backseat of the tuk-tuk could be like, oh, what's with this guy? Just a little something, like it feels unresolved or something, an unresolved gag. It's like a whoopee cushion just left in the desert with no one to step on.
Maybe it adds a little verite to it, though. Like it feels a little bit like it's just he's not able to communicate with them, and that it just kind of keeps showing up.
Maybe. Just an old man who won't listen.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for you, Scott. Indy says he's a Nazi. he doesn't go, he's a Nazi. He goes, he's a Nazi.
Nazi!
Yeah, a little bit. And I want to know, like, what in your life is the word that you sort of treat or color with that, like, raw.
It's like you're chopping out a cigar when you say it.
Yeah, like this, that you say it sort of with a flair or a guttural oomph.
Wow. I'd be like, that's my slack going off. I have a profound dislike of slack, and it's like, I'm not really sure this is a good adventure. It's slack. My notifications are on. That's something, at least, that makes me almost as angry as a Nazi will. But like,
that works.
So is that what you meant, Jerry? Is it like,
yeah.
So what gets under your skin?
Great example. Yeah.
I mean,
you have one of those?
what gets under Jerry's skin? What doesn't get under Jerry's
Oh
skin?
yeah,
Well,
I
yeah.
feel like
Do you ever just utter something, Jerry? Like, just as a
I don't
person?
say anything with like a nice
Yeah,
blooming.
he doesn't ever say anything without.
dulcet tone. everything that comes out of my mouth is with a sort of a guttural angst.
Oh, extra broccoli, please.
Yeah.
Ugh.
God damn.
Speaking of guttural angst, Helena punches this guy off of the tuk-tuk here, and I'm kind of sad because it's the same punch Indy does, and it's got the same effect as an Indy punch, but it doesn't have the Indy cannon sound effect to it.
Oh.
It's just like the punch is like a psh.
Pete, she's a girl.
Oh.
She's a girl. They punch
do you think
differently.
they have his and her Ben Burt?
But to me, it was sort of disappointing because Marion gets the cannon punch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
She does. Well, she's Marion.
That's true.
Crying out loud.
But I don't know if it's just a different filmmaker that didn't want to put it in, or it felt jarring not hearing it.
They're going for realism. Not all punches can be cannons shooting a leather jacket in the desert or whatever it was. There were a few, like right before that, there's a weird thing that happens. There's a lot of little weird things in this chase. And no, there are. Scott, I'm telling you. You got to, if you watch closely. No, so the guy's on the roof and he's carving the roof with a big knife. and Indy makes a really sharp turn, and a guy flies into a basket of fruit, like a fruit cart, but it's not that guy. It's not the guy from the roof of the thing. So I don't know who that guy was who flew into the fruit. And I watched it a dozen times, and I don't know where that guy comes from. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
I feel like I've got to pull it up now.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
I mean,
First of all,
play
I
the
think there's a
replay
bunch
music.
of Raiders callbacks. We have the guy on the roof, and you're like, oh, that's the Nazi dad from Raiders.
Right.
Remember? Yeah, the guy
sure.
who loses his cap on the truck chase.
right.
And then they have a full-on Burrow cameo
Oh, right. Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the
Remember
me,
beginning.
kids?
Yeah.
From the beginning of South America.
Yeah.
Raiders.
I made it all the way
There's
to
like a
Morocco.
full-on
Oh,
shot.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I kind of like that. Actually, I
Yeah,
like that
me
shot.
too.
Yeah.
There's a couple of those things where definite callbacks to Raiders, Raiders shots or scenes or
Yeah.
winks.
Did you find me in every movie, kids? Go back and look. You'll get a prize. Get a donkey decoder ring.
You know, it's interesting. Tom made me get new headphones because my old headphones were leaky.
Damn it, Pete!
But I did something I never do. And I listened to these minutes with headphones on. And the sound design is really interesting because it's like spatial audio. Like when he
yeah.
hits the knife and goes across the top of the roof of the tuk-tuk, like the sound goes from one ear to the other. Like it goes across from channel to channel.
I guess I can
It's
do
interesting.
that now.
Like the sound design in this is
Take that, Raiders, with your flat sound.
Yeah, right.
Oh, Tommy,
mono.
I figured this out. The guy who kind of does like a barrel roll into the fruit cart?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the guy on the motorcycle.
Oh my God. Okay, so
Yeah.
Was he there the whole time? Was he? I guess he was chasing them.
He's-
Oh yeah. Okay, I see it.
when there was one set of motorcycle prints.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
No, my child. That's when I did a barrel roll into some fruit.
That's when you were riding on my tuk-tuk. Wow. Yeah, that's boy. The visual continuity of this scene is lacking. Like, and that's I think I've heard that complaint about this. It's a mix of it not being Steven Spielberg, whose action directing is so clear. Like he just is he's great at staging action. He's great at putting your eye right where it needs to be. And in this case, I don't, and then he's got, Michael Kahn cutting, where everything is well thought out. Like nothing seems haphazard. And in this thing, not only does it look like a bunch of stuff sort of got cut out, it wouldn't surprise me if they did a thing where it was one guy on top of the thing and then a totally different guy falls into some fruit.
Yeah.
And you just go, all right, well, whatever, because there's no visual coherence to a lot of this stuff. I think it also goes on so long that you just kind of lapse into a bit of a stupor, and you just let it wash over you, which isn't like that can be not a bad thing sometimes. I mean, like you can have an action sequence that just sort of takes you away, but it's about as un-Spielbergy a thing as you're ever going to get is like, an action scene that isn't, going exactly where he wants it to go.
Oh, that's interesting.
Maybe the jungle chase in Crystal Skull.
I was just gonna say we owe each other $1. I was just gonna say, now does that actually work? I remember thinking like, I don't know where that thing just came from. I don't know who's in what truck right now. Like I remember that one being super confusing and haphazard. But I mean, okay, that's one chase scene out of a dozen movies that he's done with chase scenes.
But you think this just gets filed under general rumpus making?
I think it does, yeah, for sure. And that, I say, like that can be an okay thing.
Yeah,
but it had really better keep you hooked into like 'cause I don't even know what this chase is about. I have a few things about this. It's like if you want to take the God's eye view of it, Fuller gets out of the auction, says thank you very much, and he puts the dial in his bag, or gets on the elevator and is like, "I'll see you in the past," whatever his line is.
Yeah.
And he's got the thing. And then at the end of this massive chase that goes on for 111 minutes, he's got the thing. And that's really that's very not Indiana Jonesy. Like most of the time when you have a chase, there's a reversal.
Yeah.
And very often it's a disappointing one. Sometimes it's a spectacular one, like the truck chase. It's like, after all that, Indy's got it. You know, like,
Yeah.
but in this, it's like nothing is any different except that I guess Radio Raheem's guys are all gone. Like what did he get out of it? He didn't catch her.
Yeah.
He seems to give up, or I guess just his guys all evaporate into bales of sticks and fruit, and like
maybe he's finally over his heartbreak by the end of the chase. He's gotten over Helena. He can move on finally.
He has like a sort of like a Belloc moment or something like that. He's like, hey,
Okay.
It's like Mr. Spock. It's like, oh, the madness is gone.
I'm good.
Yeah. That's kind of for you, Tom.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I want to hearing you talk about the chase scene and how it's not Spielberg and everything, and then we both thought about the Crystal Skull chase. Obviously, it's come up a lot. Okay, this is not directed by Steven Spielberg, and a lot of people think it doesn't quite work. Is it because it's not Steven Spielberg? Is it impossible for somebody other than Steven Spielberg to make a satisfying Indiana Jones movie? And that will always lead me to, the previous movie was directed by Steven Spielberg, and it stunk like hot fish on a summer's day. And it did not work for me, and it didn't. I know, Pete, you don't agree, but for me and for some others, it didn't feel right.
No, it didn't work for me either.
Oh, okay.
It just worked better than this.
You feel that's more of an authentic Indiana Jones movie than this.
I didn't like the movie. I still don't like that movie, but it feels more like Indiana Jones than this.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean I liked it.
I just want to get your sense, Scott, of would you rather have a not on his game Steven Spielberg directing this, or are you happy to have somebody else come in and see what they can do?
I think I'm happy to have somebody else come in and see what they can do.
Okay.
With complete acknowledgement that nobody does this better than Steven Spielberg. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of what's wrong with both of the two movies you've brought up are you need a better script. You need set pieces that are there for a reason, not just here's where we have a set piece. Mm-hmm. And I can't think of another, of the first three Indiana Jones movies, anything in the plotting of them that doesn't require a chase at that moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, in other words, we've got to get out of this place and we will do it in the form of a chase, or we've got to get that thing and we will do it in the form of a ruckus. It's everything has purpose. And I think in these movies, it's time for a chase. Let's have one. And, and that's all a function of script. So I like it when new directors take on new things. I'm going to say something that I never thought I'd hear myself saying that I know I'm going to regret, which is it would be interesting to see J.J. Abrams take a stab at this.
If he Scott, didn't have thanks anything for coming to do on. This has been fun.
Right. No, hear me out.
Every once in a while.
There's more to this. If he was not allowed to touch the script or be in any way involved in the creation of it. And I know that's not a fair thing to ask of a director, but I very frequently feel that he's a good enough action director that he and thoughtful enough. Some of what bothers me about this movie is that it's either sometimes too in love with the Indiana Jonesness of it, or it's not in love enough with Indiana Jones.
Interesting. Okay.
And it never seems to get the right balance. And with Steven Spielberg, you don't need to ask. It came from him. He's gonna love it passionately.
Yeah.
Even if it stinks, and James Mangold, I just got the sense of I don't know much about him as a director. I've seen a bunch of his movies and they're fine, but but this is a different thing and it's a kind of special, and I don't think I can't tell where he's at for much of it. I just can't tell what his attitude is about what is going on here. And sometimes, as I say, it feels very reverent and it feels very enamored of the material, and sometimes it feels like he doesn't understand what these characters are supposed to be doing.
You'd say basically a scene like this, the chase is divorced from the plot.
I would say, I mean, maybe I'm not, I don't know this one as well as I know any of the others, so maybe it's not. And the more I watch it, the more things that didn't make sense to me make a little more sense.
Sure.
But
you know what? I mean,
do
what
you
helps
think
me
it's
is,
do you think it's attached to the plot? Because I don't.
I mean, when Tommy explains it at the beginning of each of our minutes, it is the most coherent that I've sort of watched the movie.
Thank you.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, part of it. I mean, but Tommy, you're like a professional storyteller, editor, writer. If only I'd seen the movie sitting next to you.
That would have been handy. Oh, wait a minute.
We did.
Well, if he'd been talking the whole time, it would have made more sense.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Guys, shut up. Well, I'll say that. Okay, so in the sense of like, the bad guy's got the thing the hero wants, so we're chasing after him. That makes sense. I agree that it's weird that at the end of it he still has it and you failed, which could work. Damn it, we were so close. Whatever. But I do wonder, and I've wondered since he showed up. I'm not sure what Scardio Rahim is doing here. I don't know what.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Is it to build up Helena's persona or something? Or
I was wondering to give her some depth.
Yeah, or just
Is
some
that what it is?
backstory, or like another
Does
thing
it
for
do
Indy to
that,
be
though?
frustrated about, or something. Or it's not enough to. I think the first time we saw it, when I was sitting next to Jerry Porter, I was like, I'm not sure why that guy just showed up. Like,
Right.
like this is something
Is
that already
it- okay,
happened,
so
and
is
they're
it-
talking about something that's done already. Like they broke
Does
up.
it give her a dimension of Marion's scoundrel? Not that Marion's a scoundrel, but there's a radical nature to the hero.
Mhm.
If you're Marion, she wins the drinking contest, and bunches guys, and she's the guy who shoots the bad guy from behind in the back of the head, and the
Yeah.
Raider. Is this sort of filling that out for
I feel like
Helen?
it's trying to.
Yeah, like,
I don't-
she kind of sold the dude, sold the engagement ring, and
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
and then told him to his face, like, yeah, it didn't bring that
Well, see,
much.
that's the thing. That's part of
I
the
didn't get
problem is
that.
that we've already discovered, if we didn't know it already, that she's kind of an a-hole. Like, she's a problem. She's not a good person, and we don't like her, and she's a real jerk to our friend Indiana Jones, who we're here to see. But all we learn now is more awful stuff about her. Like, I feel bad for this mobster that he broke her heart, or that she broke his heart. So layering that on top, I don't know if that, like, not only does it make the chase scene more muddled, but it added a few extra seconds to the movie that we didn't really need.
To me, it also makes her turn later harder to buy. I still don't quite feel comfortable. Like I said, I didn't like her at the beginning, and then I like her, I guess, at the end. But I don't feel like she went on a journey to get from beginning to end. Person.
Yeah. And we were talking with Chris Eliopoulos about all this, and like, about Indy, about like, he starts off as a sad old man, drunk in the morning and stuff, and threatening his neighbors with a baseball bat and everything. Can't put a shirt on right. And then at the end, he's in a better place, but he never really made a choice to do that. He he was dragged along by Helena. So I'm wondering, in a better movie, is she starting off as a huge a-hole, and then she gradually becomes our hero and saves our buddy Indiana Jones, and then we love her so much that she has her own franchise and she's the new Indiana Jones.
Maybe.
Like, would that that must have been in the back of their heads.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
if it had worked better, would that have been a good arc for? It's not Indy's arc; it's hers.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say again, you got to write it better then.
Yeah,
It's like that. It's simply that collection of little ideas would be great if threaded together by a writer like you, Tom. Like someone who cares how their story turns out and isn't just checking boxes.
Yeah.
And that's a weird, it's obvious. I think we're supposed to feel all those things about her character. We're supposed to feel like she's come some distance, but we never really see it happen.
Right.
Or if it happens, it's sort of she kind of just slides in from the side way late in the game and says, see, this happened. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
Unearned, I guess, would be the way to.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll
to
be
describe
watching
it.
this really slowly, so maybe it'll be clearer to us as it happens. Like, I guess if you squint, you can see that that's part of her turn. We got a Helena watch going. Episode 78. You realize that she's got a thing.
realize, every week we get together and we relitigate our feelings on this movie. It's it's nuts.
And what have we decided, Jerry?
Yeah, where are
I
you?
know.
At?
gotten
I mean, we just keep, sort of churning the butter, and it's, if it's Pete, the butter's spoiled, and if it's me, I'm like, no, 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 maybe a little more salt. It's really funny. I mean,
Yeah.
I no, I think a lot of this stuff doesn't work, but watching it, I do enjoy it more than Crystal Skull and some of the other ones. So
That works for me. I mean, I
yeah,
agree with that. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
I oh,
no, go ahead, Pete.
no, please go.
I was going to say I've watched it in a few different circumstances. Saw it in the theater the first time, and I think there was something wrong with the projection
Oh, man.
for a good portion of it. And I was there with my wife, and some of the colors were off. It was like looking at a 3D movie without
wow.
glasses on. Yeah, it was weird.
Like Spider-Verse.
It's like all the reds were all kind of misaligned.
Oh, weird.
And I was like, oh, there's something seriously wrong with this. This is terrible. It's ruining it for me. And she's like, well, but you can make it out. Like, she's like,
You know what's
go
going
with it. And
Grow up.
it was impossible. Right. Well, yeah, there was a feeling of like, I was sitting there just squirming in my seat and thinking, I'm not growing up. I can't, I'm not able to grow up. I'm going to try not to bother my wife, but I cannot grow up.
I didn't want to marry this guy.
So so that was less than optimal.
Yeah.
And then I saw it, I guess as soon as it hit Disney, and I saw it at home on a decent sized TV, and not theater sound or anything, but good enough to pass, as a better representation of what I was supposed to be looking at. And was totally baffled by it. I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't know why. Like, why did they need to do this? Why is this happening? Or like, why was this necessary? Which I think I've heard you guys, ping off that idea a few times. Where it's like, why did we need this?
Right.
Oh, that's a Tom special.
Yeah.
Even though I like the movie, I essentially like the movie, but I cannot shake. Why is this movie here?
And isn't that like if you're gonna? I mean, I guess it just comes down to if you don't have anything to say, don't say it.
Yeah.
Like never mind the trick. What's the point? Like it's this kind of thing where it's like you just need a story good enough worth telling. I understand that they all kind of, they were trying to make some amends for Crystal Skull, which didn't necessarily need it. I mean, it's no one likes it, but it. I guess I don't understand this whole thing about when the audience is sort of disappointed by a franchise. Why do you need to make good on that?
Right.
Like, I understand it's. I'm sorry, Tom. What
Just the idea that we have to make it up to the fans. Like we made a movie and they didn't like it and it's our fault or something, and we have to redo it.
Well, and as everybody I think knows, it's like, well, these things hit different audiences differently. There are young people who love the prequels and don't understand the original Star Wars movies the way we do, or at least don't feel them at that nervous system level like we do. And that's totally fine. Like, so there's success. The movie made money. So it's like, there's nothing really to apologize for. You can say, yeah, we were all a little disappointed, or, oh yeah, George's weird aliens idea goes down a little tough.
Yeah.
But you don't have to go through the effort of making a $500 million movie just to say you're sorry for the last one that actually turned a profit. Like you don't have to do that.
Now they have to apologize for this one and make another one.
Well, see,
Which I don't think they expected was going to happen.
Right.
I think they thought like, well, this is so gritty and realistic, and there's Nazis. How can we go wrong? And it's like, no, you can go wrong by not having a story that makes any goddamn sense.
Right.
That's what's
Forgive
so
my
hard.
language.
When you're in the middle creating something, being creative or artistic, whatever, do you know that it's not that good? For instance, like, did everybody just feel exactly the same about Last Crusade, and then Last Crusade comes out, and everybody goes, "Oh, that's a good old dad stuff." Like, but I mean, did we need Last Crusade? And if you ask that, people would be like, "You hush your mouth." You know what I mean? You'd be
Yeah.
like, "That's a great Sean Connery," and you're kidding me. Could you imagine not having Last Crusade? You're like, so, but was the feeling when they made that the exact same as this
Yeah.
in the
I
middle
don't
of
know.
making? Yeah. Sometimes you don't know.
Well, Spielberg's on record as saying it was. Like, he literally did make Last Crusade as a mea
Yeah.
culpa for Temple
Yeah.
of Doom.
That's right. That's right.
And I think every other Star Trek movie was made to apologize for the previous one. But to your point, Scott, to your point, like, okay, Star Trek 3, for some reason people didn't like it. I liked it a lot.
I
But
love it.
It's really good. But they felt like they didn't make as much or something, or people didn't like it as much, so they made four. And, like, it's not like everybody said, you know what Star Trek really needs? Whales. They need to go back in time and meet some whales. That's what the audience needs.
No, Mark
But
Meeting used thought that.
He did. Well, maybe he did. Yeah, but I mean, that's an awesome. It's probably one of the best Star Trek movies, and it's the most popular one. Everybody loves it. And to your point, Scott, it's just a well-told story, and it's really good, and everybody's firing on all cylinders, and it feels like Star Trek, and it's awesome. Yeah. And there's no like we need to, I don't know, put in Kirk's dad, or we need to, have Kirk's goddaughter who's a jerk, or it's I don't know. It's just it starts with a good story. And it's not so much about like the theme of Harrison Ford getting very old and he has to make one more movie or something.
Right.
But see, I had the moment where this is another Tommyism.
Uh-oh.
Is this movie to me made the huge mistake of making me think of a much, much, much better movie. Is when they're going down the stairs, it looks exactly like the Battle of Algiers. Like the stairway is straight out of that movie.
Yeah.
And
wow.
I
That's pretty
just
great.
and I just kept thinking, like, that movie was so great in so many ways.
Yeah.
I could be watching the Battle of Algiers.
That's on your shirt.
But
Did
it's
you
interesting
think?
because it two movies. I mean, obviously they're very, very different, but it's interesting. I can't tell if they were purposely trying to reference that or not. And I think if they did, they were making a mistake.
It might be a reference to it, yeah. I mean, it's this movie isn't. It's not full of like, hey, look at this. We're in love with cinema, the same way we're in love with Indiana Jones. It's not. It doesn't have that kind of composition to it. But it's very possible that James Mangold was like, or anybody in the conception of that chase was like, oh, I always wanted to do something.
Yeah, down the
where
stairway.
something happens with those stairs, like that kind of thing.
I mean, everything. A lot of the stuff in the chase scene is really. It's a solid idea. And we said this about like the parade scene and stuff. It's like a solid Indiana Jones idea on paper. Yeah, he goes down the stairs. The guy gets nailed by some sticks and stuff. And it's a tuck chase. That's weird.
That
We haven't seen
stick
that
thing
before.
is so
Kinda fun.
visceral.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy getting it in the face. Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
you get I think you get a nice little reference to, you could be crashing into a cargo full of live poultry. when they crash, you hear the chickens clucking.
This
their
has so
cameo.
many weird little sound effects. I noticed that like gets everyone to turn their heads. There's this thing where at some point in the minute they're sitting in the tuk-tuk. I don't remember if it's their original one or the one that they move over to. And I guess it's the Nazis' car comes driving up behind them, and they all turn their heads to look because it beeps. It's like, "Neat, neat."
Oh, yeah.
And the car comes up, and it's like, why
like
are they
Roadrunner.
why are they beeping at them?
Yeah.
Like, they're trying to avoid them. I mean,
is like
presumably
the
they don't want to be
Roadrunner.
seen by them, and it's like, "Neat, neat," and they all turn around.
There they
And
go.
it's like there's a lot of that sort of that and chickens clucking and things like that where it's like we need, and I know full well like sometimes you need an audio cue to get to sort of provide a grappling hook for the next shot so you can kind of pull it closer to where you are and get to it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that here. And I mean, props to the sound designers for doing that. But it defies logic. Like why? And also it's like, is it important that the Nazis who are trying to drive, like, I guess that's another thing about this chase. It's like, I have a bunch of questions about this where think about when you're driving at any speed in a, you're on a highway we all live in major cities, or I formerly lived in a major city. So if you're driving in a high traffic place and the traffic is going really fast, are you looking around, arching your head way over and going like, oh, that distant tuk-tuk over there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're following us. Faster, faster.
Or having a conversation with somebody 2 lanes over.
Well, and that's, I was about to say, that's,
You've never ridden in a
that
car with
brings
Jerry Porter.
me to the big question I have about this 3 minutes, which is why do they try to have a little banter in the 2 tuk-tuks at high speed?
Yeah.
Like, have you ever been driving and thought to yourself, this would be a great time for me to get into a little bit of an argument about my partner's personality? You know, like it's just, you don't do that.
Yeah.
They're also really loud. Like, you would have to really yell to be heard.
Well, that's another question. Like, have you guys ever ridden in a tuk-tuk?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I have not.
I have not
Not
either.
had the pleasure. You and I should go rent some and just yell at each other from across the street.
Yeah. Let's do it. Oh yeah, let's do side-by-side tuk-tuks. But I guarantee you, like it. I mean, I don't know about you guys. Maybe you're very self-assured drivers, but you know, I enjoy driving. But if I'm driving in a way that requires concentration, I don't want to have a conversation.
Yeah, no, I turned down the radio. I'm concentrating right now. Everybody leave me alone.
Right? And so like let alone coming up with these little zingers. It's like,
Yeah.
And so that brought me to something that I actually kind of researched a little bit, which is one of the things I think that makes this feel so un-Indiana Jonesy is if you watch all the other chases from the Indiana Jones movies, and I decided to do this knowing I was going to talk to you
Oh,
guys
wow.
Oh, nice. That sounds fun.
you know, I sped through most of them, and some of them I was like, well, that doesn't count as a full, you know, like a chase scene. But one thing you don't get is a lot of dialogue in them. You don't
Interesting.
get this, like, this is a chance for us to
Yeah.
do these little, like, hilarious, you know, pull quotes for that'll be great in the trailer kind of moments.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Which this was a scene in the trailer, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think it was, and it's
Yeah.
one of those things where it's like it just feels very like scripty, very scriptwriterly, where it's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to have him say, "What kind of a person are you?" and she's going to say, "Spectacular, wonderful, excellent." Hey, whoa,
It's economical. We don't have to
hello."
interrupt the chase. We can get this exposition. It's not even exposition, but we can get this conversation in at the same time. It'll be great.
Right,
Well,
and
okay,
it's
Give me an
So-
Oscar.
Is the point of that just levity? You know, we talk
Yeah.
about this. I mean, is that what's going on here? If you think about, like, okay, the Nazi truck chase and Raiders, I don't know. Looking back on it, I know there's the guy who smiles and he punches him off, and the guy goes, whoa, and I know there's the guy who falls on the loop-de-loop-de-loop, and
But
Yeah.
those are Spielberg is a master at ratcheting up the tension and then relieving it in little bits, or then relieving it in big bits, like at
Yeah.
the parts where you need some relief from the tension.
Yep.
This one,
Yeah.
it feels like the banter and the tension at the same time. You kind of don't know what to feel.
It feels like the chase is not a real thing, and they
Right.
don't
Like
need
they're
to
not in
worry about
danger
it.
if they're bantering.
Yeah.
exactly
yeah,
right.
right.
And I can think of tons of examples in both Raiders movies and like Star Wars movies and stuff where there are little bits of banter within like a gunfight or something. Like, what the hell are you doing? Someone's got to save our skins, stuff like that, you know.
I don't care what you smell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which, or you know, like Indy and his dad tied in a chair and the room's on fire around them, and they have a little bit of business and stuff. Like that just logically makes a little more sense. You're like there, you can talk to each other. You're not 2 lanes apart in a chase trying to concentrate on not driving into anything.
Those are also scenes though, where you need a little relief, like that scene where they're sitting and they're about to be burned. That's really ratcheted up the tension. And when they make a joke, it kind of it diffuses that just enough that it makes a scene a little easier to watch.
Which is what they learned from Raiders, diffusing all the tension.
The interesting thing about the Last Crusade, like if this is a Last Crusade treatment, whether it's, you know, they're about to burn and they're talking, or it's they go through the tunnel and the plane, you know, the you know, the whatever, but
pilot
you know,
looks-
the pilot's over and he gives
hurting
him the
Scott,
curly
Jerry.
whoop whoop whoop. Yeah, you know, if that's what they're doing here a little bit, like Henry Jones Sr. is that character. He is the guy who talks when the entire room is on fire. like he's not a man of action, so to speak.
Right.
Remember, like the action he takes, like his most violent thing is he puts an umbrella against a flock of seagulls or whatever, and they go up and kill the yeah. So I mean, but they don't seem like they're drawing Helena that way here. You know, she's already punched the guy with the scimitar and the whatever it is. You know what I mean? The cutlass. So I kind of maybe that's what's jarring, is what I'm saying. You see it in Last Crusade, it makes sense with Henry Jones Sr. because I don't know the way he's dressed, and he's wearing the hat, and he's very professorial, and he's not gonna do anything. He doesn't punch anybody or shoot anybody.
Yeah.
Can I just, as an aside, Jerry, I always love the way you pronounce scimitar. That always makes me smile.
Oh, weird. There you go.
I appreciate that.
Is it because
It's
you
like
were
a
talking
little-
about
it's
Sean
like how
Connery?
Sean
It's a little
Connery.
rakish. It's like you got your hat at a rakish angle when you say scimitar.
Scimitar.
You look just
Pick
like Carmen
George.
San Diego. Hey,
Yeah,
we
it's-
talk-
it's-
Oh, good.
Oh, I was just going to say that all those things you're describing, though, are things that are coming out of the action around them. You know,
Yeah.
maybe as you're saying it, Jerry, you're reminding me that Last Crusade does do that thing. It's one of the reasons I think I probably was pretty uneasy with it the first time I saw it. I've grown to love it tremendously, but it's a cheap and chintzy and way too into going for the laughs version of an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
And it's aged better over time, mostly because it has that very strong heart and very strong story to it that's central. But and we've all gotten older and more forgiving of the things from our youth.
Scott, do you think when you watch Dial of Destiny, what are they culling from? Are they culling from all the previous 4 indie movies, or do you think they're culling more from any one film? Do you feel more Last Crusade about this whole thing?
Wow, that's a really good question because I here I am thinking about that. Can you hear the steam?
Yeah, are you going to be okay?
Can you hear the valves
glass of water?
starting to like move into motion? It's like I hadn't really thought about that. Like, yeah, what's it pulling from? I mean, it's obvious in the first third of the movie, it wants most to resemble Raiders, I think. Even though I think in some ways it's feeling very it actually, I think what it's doing is it's trying to capture the way Last Crusade captured its sense of Raiders, if that makes sense.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So Last Crusade put Nazis marching around and you were supposed to go, it reminds me of Raiders. Boy, I feel better now. You know, I'm glad it's not Thuggies or something that, you know, whatever. I like it when he's with Nazis. And the first third of this movie, I think, is trying to capture some of that, but it's a mix of like, we want this to feel like Raiders, maybe a little like Last Crusade. But as a big movie, I don't know what it's pulling from. In some ways, it's like it's like the Star Trek IV of Indiana Jones movies, where it's like, wow, this feels really different. Doing its own thing, which I would normally, that would be a praise, words of praise that I would try to drop onto a thing like this. But doing its own thing, it's not doing it very steadily. So, but to bring it back to your question, it's like I don't know scene by scene which of the indie movies it's most trying to recapture. Do you guys have a sense? Like, has this come up in previous minutes?
But I think you're right that it is sort of like, and I feel like maybe somebody said this before, or something similar, that it is like it is to Raiders what Last Crusade was to Raiders, but it's not Last Crusade. They're all trying to be Raiders. They would all love to be Raiders, and they go about it in different ways. And I too, Pete praised Temple of Doom way back for trying something very different than Raiders.
It didn't try to be Raiders. I think
No,
that's
I'm
part
saying
of why it's so extraordinary.
it did something else. It was trying to be very. I don't know if it was intentionally trying to not be Raiders, but it was something very different than Raiders.
Yeah.
And you almost this movie had to be different from Raiders just because it's the '60s. He's a much older man. So I kind of admire them not trying too hard to be like, okay, we gotta hit all these Raiders beats. necessarily. It can be a little bit of like a 3 Days of the Condor. It can be a little bit of like a Raiders opening scene. It could be a little bit of Last Crusade banter. It's again, on paper, I think I said this before too, that we should stop doing the show because I keep saying the same thing over and over again. But there are a lot of things in this pieces of this movie that work really well, but they don't quite add up to like a very satisfying whole good movie. So I think there are a lot of places where they kind of hit stuff well, whatever they're trying to emulate. I don't know. I do want to say though, I think at the very beginning of the movie, we pointed out that I think it was the first time we heard the Raiders theme in the movie, like on the train somewhere maybe or something. And one of us said, maybe Pete, maybe me, said, "Oh, I can think of a point in the movie where they use the Raiders theme and it seems completely inappropriate and misplaced." And I think the one right here is oddly misplaced. The Helena and Teddy take off on their own tuk-tuk. They ditch Indy. He gets his moving. He takes off, and then like a full 5 seconds later, as he's just like casually turning a corner, you get ba ba da ba ba ba. I'm like, why is that there? I don't know why. Maybe when he goes off on his own and he rejoins the chase, you get a ba ba da ba. Maybe, but even that seems a little. That's not that heroic of a moment. That's not.
Yeah. I agree with you.
It's like they had. There's a mandate. We have to use it 5 times. So find 5 places to put it or something.
I agree. I think it has Raiders beats. But the general treatment is, I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to blend them. It's Last Crusaders. That's how it feels. Yeah, Last Crusaders. It has the Raiders beats, but the treatment feels very Last Crusade. A little more levity and family friendly, and then they introduce people and they don't fully do stuff with them. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, you know what I mean? And so that part, I don't know. That part, I don't ever feel that way about Raiders.
No.
You know what I mean? That's all. Like, there doesn't seem to be anybody that's not you.
I have a positive note, if anybody wants to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Please. There's the burrow.
I like the burrow. I hadn't thought of the burrow, but I do like the burrow. I do like the guy getting it in the face with the sticks. That is satisfying, and he got pulverized. We should feel bad about it, but he's a bad guy, so we like it. I really like as they crash down the stairs and they crash into the wall, whatever. Helena's, "What the hell?" That's very satisfying for some reason.
Yeah.
So they use it. So that feels Last Crusader-y to me, because she says that, and then Indy, 10 seconds later, says, "What the hell?"
What the hell, right?
Yeah.
You know what, though?
So yeah.
I think it doesn't sound Last Crusader-y. This is going to be a very either brilliant or ignorable thing to say. I think it's a very Dial of Destiny moment. Because what it reminds me of is dude on the train, the Nazi, saying things like, "Have you met Hitler?" Or like, "We're like very, very natural. Yes, that is what that guy would say," kind of stuff. Not even like very clever or like exceptionally written. It's just like that's what a person would say in that situation, and it's perfect.
And it's one of my very few favorite things about this movie.
Yeah,
I love that line. I thought that was great. Actually, that put me in a great mood sitting in the movie theater. I was like, "Oh, that's great."
It is great.
And then the script never got to that level again, really. But no, I like her delivery on it, and the way that it kind of gives us a chance to kind of catch our breath on this, during this chase. That I like her. What the hell? I want more of that generally sprinkled all around it, because and it gave it a real feel to it. It was like, okay, she's being very real. You might actually say that if you went through that.
Yeah, that person was
she
just
does it great, and I keep wanting to find more and more and more reasons to put praise on Phoebe Waller-Bridge, because she's terrific. This is just a great performer, and smart, and always, I'm hoping, I don't really know because I haven't read up on a lot of the lore, but I hope she was responsible for at least a few little notes like that, a few little things, because she's that creative and that good a writer. So it's like, that's great. But that was just a little moment of it where it's like, yep, I got nothing to complain about in that little piece. And somehow, actually, when they're all kind of jammed into that little stairwell, I also really like the sort of him shoving off the stairs.
Oh yeah,
I guess mostly because it's like, well, that's real. Like, well, real stairs, real oranges, real shoe, like, and a real problem, as opposed to everything else that kind of feels CG and a little bit video gamey. Not as video game-ish as the train chase maybe, but it still feels fairly. It definitely feels about as CGI and green screen a chase as you're going to get.
That's what's weird. We definitely had that feeling about the train and about the parade stuff and everything. That, like, they're adding so much stuff that just the whole thing feels very dreamy and weird and not really happening. Mm-hmm. And then I'm thinking about that as I'm watching this chase, and I'm like, okay, the effects are good enough that I can't actually tell what is and isn't real. For all I know, they really are driving cars down the street, for the most part. But because that's in the back of my head for the rest of my life now as a moviegoer, I'm kind of like, okay, I guess there's probably fake. It's too bad. It's too bad I can't tell how real it is, if it is real or something. And I feel bad for the filmmakers if they are like, damn it, we went to Morocco, we took these tuk-tuks and we chased them down the street, and a guy almost got killed, and it was a big drag. It was, it took us forever, and it spent a lot of money, but, now you guys think it's fake. So I don't know what to do with that. Sorry, guys, that's what movies are like now. We assume it's fake. There's nothing we can do about it.
Well, let me ask you, does going down the stairs, did that resonate with you? Like, it's like, oh, we all know what it's like to go downstairs.
Yeah. It's like the Gemini at Cedar Point. It's like, all my cartilage is ruined.
I assume we all did it when, riding our bikes.
Riding your bike.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like riding your bike down.
Yeah, so it does, like, we all know what that feeling is, and it's a little jarring. You're like, no, this is going to be...
Yeah, this won't be that bad. Oh, my God, it's worse.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that worked for me, I think. Yeah. It's the stuff of nightmares or of heavily fraught dreams to sort of be moving at high speed, come through a narrow space, and then watch the world kind of open up underneath you. I've had dreams about driving where I'm like, oh my God, I'm going over a bridge.
Gosh, I just had that dream like a few months ago, and it's the only time I've ever had it. And it freaked me. I fully experienced dying in that dream. Oh. And then I woke up, I was like, whoa, what was that all about?
Yeah, I've had those, and the only other movie that I can think of that captures that is the massive, wonderful 8-minute chase in the Blues Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Where once the car full of Illinois Nazis gets sort of goes over the edge of the thing, and then they do that impossible helicopter drop of the car.
Yeah.
That thing exists in my nightmares.
Yeah.
Fairly regularly, actually.
Man.
And so I think this little thing said, with a little bit of Battle of Algiers kind of, dialed into it, and some international flavor to it, said like, well, what if we did this with the audience in this moment? It felt even a little bit like the minecart chase in Temple of Doom. That has just some wonderful, it's like there's a certain point in that chase where they're like, you know what, we're just gonna be a roller coaster for a minute here. And it's not done in a way that takes you out of it completely, and they even, I think, pull the sound of a roller coaster into it. But it's making no bones about what it's doing, and this did that a little bit, and it's yet another thing about this that I'm finding where it's like, I got no argument with that. Like that feels right to me. And it's exciting and it's fun, and then it ends in a what the hell, and it's like, okay, good. I'm enjoying this. So I'm glad, actually, now that we talked about it a little bit, it's like, oh, I did find stuff in this that I liked, because
I love the indie jump where he jumps from his tuk-tuk to her tuk-tuk. I love that.
And he ends up backwards. It's interesting.
With his feet on Raheem's car? Is that what's going on? Yeah.
Yeah. Like he does a 180 in the air.
Knowing how, we're not, we're old, but we're not Harrison Ford old.
Right.
Knowing what your body is capable of doing. And I understand Indiana Jones is a different, animal entirely from any of us, but like doing that thing do you imagine he can function for the rest of the scene? Like, it's just, you do that, and
I would
it's,
not
you
be
know,
able to.
right?
Well, also,
Like,
add to that, like imagine how like, we're somewhere between Indy from Raiders and Indy from this, and imagine how much slower your reflexes are than they were 20, 30 years ago. And then imagine how his must be, like not just how his body reacts, but how his reflexes, like how he's able to do these things.
Yeah.
1,000%. I think that's right. It's like, yeah, the idea that you could see that car coming at you and react and then do that with your body is,
And then
like,
grab,
you know,
do like a 180 in the air and grab the other one. And it's incredible.
even be aware that the other tuk-tuk would be there for you to land on. Like, that didn't.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nothing in my 55-year-old sensibility that would allow me to sense any of that around me. You know, I can't even. I'm in a quiet room by myself right now, and I'm worried I'm not going to be able to, walk across the room without falling over. So.
I've been sitting for an hour. It's going to hurt when I stand up. I'm Indiana Jones. Look at me go. Jumping from couch to couch.
The good news for you, Tom, though, is they are building up to explaining how he's still able to slide down the banister when he's 101.
That's exciting for me, Pete. Thank you. I look forward to that.
He just can't go a week without bringing that up.
No,
I can't.
it's
I
all,
love bringing
it's
that
all
up. I don't know
banisters and eye patches with this guy. And I'll clobber you.
Forgot about the clobbering.
Indiana Jones is going to clobber them. We're talking about young Indiana Jones, Scott.
No,
I don't know why, but we are.
I got it to the extent of the eye patch. I do not remember the banister gag.
Boy,
but
are
I
you
can
missing
imagine
something?
Have you no sense of wonder in you, Scott? How could you forget the banister gag?
I can't believe
It's
I forgot
easy
that
when you
I'll
don't care.
clobber you.
Does he say he's going to clobber somebody?
He's 101 and he says it to a little kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
But it's hard to imagine that this Indy in this movie would learn that phrase between now and young Indiana Jones, like when he turns 101. Like, when does he learn to say, "I'll clobber you"?
But that's a very old-timey saying, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't like
It is, but
50s?
he's never said it. It seems like in his life up to this point. Why
Never
would he
wanted
start?
to clobber anybody.
Like,
In that
what
way.
year does or what decade does the 101 Indiana Jones? I can't do the math at the
It's
moment.
like the
so
90s,
it's like,
isn't it? Isn't it like
yeah, it's like the
1990?
80s, late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
I guess early 90s. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was born in 1898, right? So it would have been
Wow.
1999. That's too late.
What are we doing?
I confess I have not seen that episode. So, yeah. Goodness.
Good gravy.
So you're saying I should watch that?
Oh, yes, from stem to stern, the whole thing.
Yeah. First, get like a lifetime sentence in prison.
Yeah, yeah. And then say, okay.
Then
I need something to
request
pass
that
the
from
time.
the prison library.
The library.
Then go after the biggest guy there, try to take him down, end up in solitary. And be
But
like, okay, as long as I
I'm-
have my tapes.
We've been talking about this lately too. Is that it's you can't objectively say art is good or bad.
Unless
Like, a lot of people listening to this absolutely love
That
that
is
show.
true.
There are a lot
And
of
we
people
are
that are
jerks.
just outraged right now that
We'll just
you're
say it's
bad-mouthing
not for
such
us.
an enjoyable part of their childhoods.
If you watched it, when you came home from third grade, all the way up through, I don't know how many seasons it was on, but it was, like, it surely must have been in reruns. I bet it was, I think it was like a syndicated show, right?
Yeah.
So I'll bet different channels in your metropolitan area probably carried it, or different
probably.
cable, different places on the cable dial were showing that thing. And you were a kid then. That's your Indiana Jones in a weird way. I'm sure
For
there
some
are
people
Star
it
Wars
is.
fans who
Yeah.
are like, the Droids cartoon, that's my Star Wars. And it's like, well, okay, yeah, all
I
right.
don't like the Droids cartoon.
Some people like key lime pie.
I like key lime pie.
Wait, you don't like key lime pie?
Listen, if you're going for pie, it's not that I don't like key lime pie. It's just like if you're going to go for pie, then get chocolate peanut butter
Okay,
or
well-
chocolate mousse.
Wait a minute.
Wait a
Or
minute.
something like
Wait a
that.
minute. Wait.
Hang on. Wait.
You just
I was
took a
waiting for a
sharp
second.
left turn into madness. Yeah, wait. What? Wait a minute.
What's
If
happening?
you're
This
going
is
for
why
pie,
you can't
go
objectively say something is good
Why
or
are you
bad.
gonna-
But we're
like, if you're
going to
gonna have, like,
correct Jerry on his opinion.
Yeah, I
Like,
guess we can't
Yeah.
tell him this is
Like
objectively
if you're
bad.
I just
deciding
didn't
on
think that's
getting
where you were
dessert,
headed.
And listen, it doesn't taste bad. Carrot cake's fine and it's tasty, but if you're really going to go all in on the dessert,
Yeah.
you're going to have a vegetable dessert.
Wait, key lime pie?
That's a fruit, but
I have
carrot
so
cake.
many. Okay,
Yeah,
carrot
but-
cake. All right.
But peanut butter?
Right.
But wait, and you're
Thank
naming
you, Pete.
pies,
Yeah.
and you start with peanut butter and
Yeah.
some meringue or something.
That's not. Yeah.
This decision coming in to save my ass over the wire.
Christy Porter wants to know: have you never heard of cherry pie, you big dummy?
Let me see here. Reading this one. All right. Let's get to it quick. If Indiana Jones found himself in the Star Wars universe, would he A, get the girl, B, donate begrudgingly to the regional Jedi Cars for Kids campaign, or C, align himself with junior Sith Lords for a while?
God damn it.
Wow. If Indiana, so what was A?
A was, would he get the girl?
Oh, okay.
You might get the
B
girl.
was, would he donate begrudgingly to the regional Jedi Cars for Kids campaign? And
I've got
C,
that stupid song in my head now for
Yeah.
the next 6 years. Thank you, Christy
Wait,
Porter.
which one?
I'm not even going to say
Oh,
it. 'cause I don't
okay.
wanna-
That's probably, yeah, thank you. You're probably saving me. Thank you.
he's, you know what he's thinking? Moving right along. Fancy tree.
Bear left, right frog.
Yeah. So if he's donating to what Cars for Padawans, like, is he donating? Like, you donate a car, you don't.
Well,
so what
begrudgingly.
car is he donating?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably the one that, I don't know. I
Did
mean,
he
he
travel to
somebody
the
else's
Star Wars
car.
universe in his
He
car?
just takes
Or
someone else's car and donates
the
it.
tricycle motorcycle thing from Last Crusade.
Oh, with the sidecar?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's donating that to the
To
Or I'd
kids.
say maybe the
Jedi.
car. You know what Indy would do? He would take Shorty's car from Last Crusade.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, from Temple
Oh,
of
from-
Doom.
yeah.
He'd
Temple
take
of-
that,
Right.
and then he would donate Shorty's car.
That sucks.
Take it from a kid to give
that
the
Duesenberg, that beautiful Duesenberg, cream-colored Duesenberg,
Oh, yeah.
with the running board.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the
Does he-
block on his foot.
Do we ever know what his, like? Is he a car guy? Not to. I don't want to answer a question with a question because the professor's question is excellent coming in over the wire. but-
You know what? I'm glad we don't see that. I would say that no, he's technically not a car guy. But if they ever brought that up, he would be one of those guys who knows a whole bunch about it, but kind of like, they're like,
Oh, sure.
oh, you mean the 1936 model? And he'd be like, oh, stop it. Indiana Jones know every single thing about it. Every single
That's the thing.
Yeah.
He can't be. I don't think he can
Yeah.
be. I don't think he can know that much about every single
No,
thing.
I don't think he should be a car
That's a
guy.
James
Yeah.
Bond thing. That's not a
Yeah.
Indiana Jones
Yeah.
thing.
But do you think he has a like? Do you think he goes through periods of time where he's like, "Well, I love my car." It's like this. You know, does he look forward to getting back to his car when knows he's on the plane back to the States? You know, from Marrakesh, or
That's a
In
good
his
question.
own
'cause
weird
it's
ways,
good-
he's a sentimental guy, it seems like, in some ways. He's got that hat. He's got that jacket. He won't get rid of him no matter what anybody says behind his back.
He's also a very accomplished driver of many different kinds of vehicles. So it
is
seems like
true.
he must love his vehicles and very much look forward to driving them.
right?
I would think so.
Or is a car the kind of thing that you only acquire a thing like that you love if you're spending a lot of time with it, near it, and he spends so much time, you know, living out of a valise and you know, globetrotting that maybe cars are something he just never, you know, developed an enthusiasm for.
And are they always
But,
sweeter when they belong to someone else and you've just taken it without asking?
Good
When you
point.
okay, so when you see at the beginning of Raiders, when you see that external shot of Indy's house and there's like the old timey car out in front, I assume that's Marcus's car.
I think
I
it's
thought it
him
was
pulling
too.
up, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
and I don't know if
But
you
it
see
wasn't, it
what's in
wasn't
the
really an
driveway.
old timey car in the movie.
No,
like it was
that's
like
right.
a
It's a brand new
current
car.
Yeah.
Right.
With
I
Connecticut
feel, and he
plates.
has a different kind of house in Last Crusade, right? He's got like a
Yeah.
red brick house,
Yeah.
and you know, maybe it's Jim Broadbent's car in the
Oh,
front,
in Crystal
but, like,
Skull, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. It's
what
probably
did I say?
it's probably Tim Broadbent's wife's car.
It's on the other side of the country.
Deirdre.
Yeah, Deirdre.
So the answer is C. No, I don't remember what.
All of the above, or
All of
the
the
answer
above,
is usually
yeah.
C, right? You don't just fill in C on the Scantron, just straight down the board, and hope for the best. That's what I did, and look at me now.
This is why I got,
Got my own
7 on my
podcast.
SATs. Yeah.
Well, Scott, thank you so much for joining us. This has been awesome.
Thanks for having me. It's
I mean,
always fun.
I assume
Always,
we're
always
done
fun.
with these minutes, right? I think we've
Yeah.
exhausted them, and they've
Yeah.
exhausted us.
They've exhausted us.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want them to make more Indiana Jones movies, but if they do, it would give us another excuse to talk to you, and that would be fun. But maybe we should just find other excuses to talk.
Well,
I
they
think we
can
should just find other
apologize.
excuses and
Yeah,
talk
they
to
can
Scott
apologize for
in
this
better
one.
circumstances in the
Yeah,
future.
yeah.
Have you guys ever thought about doing a super panel of, get a whole bunch of people together and say, like, all right, what did we really think about this movie? And then let everyone kind of chime in. Because it's like, when you're in the middle of the movie like this, it's like we can't get to the real overarching stuff that bothers me about this movie, or that even some of the ones where it's like, yeah, good swing and a miss, like, good try, guy. Like, have you thought about doing a special sort of out of time show that
Just covering the whole thing at
We have
once
now.
with everybody.
asking lots of people, like,
Maybe.
how do you feel about it?
That's a good idea.
And
Thought about getting ice cream.
Try to talk Jerry into learning about different kinds of pie.
yeah, I feel like we may need to take that offline, and I need to know more about that
Yeah,
pie discussion because boy, did that.
Yeah.
Good for you, Jerry, for not just going exactly where I thought
He's
you were
an
going to go. But I need to know
Yeah.
more now because.
Well, everybody, we've done it. We've tackled these 3 minutes, and we're better for it. But Scott, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again soon in some form or another. And everybody out there, we hope to see you at some point. I don't know, like in our ears or with us in your ears. How does this work? Or you can come visit us on Facebook at the Indiana Jones Minute and the Listener's Crusade. There's all sorts of fun happening over there, and you could be part of that. And if that's not enough for you, by God, head over to patreon.com/Indiana Jones. And you can get our bonus show, Anything Goes, or you can get episodes of this show early, or all sorts of stuff. You can even get postcards from at least 2 of the 3 hosts of the show, and that could be very fun. Ask the people who get them. In any case, please, more than anything, come back here next week for the next 3 minutes of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny right here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
What the hell?
What the hell?
What the hell?
What the hell?